I was born August of 77 and was diagnosed at 18 months with cerebral palsy. Medically, I'm considered a quadriplegic, but I do have limited arm movement, probably more arm movement than most quads. So I don't consider myself a quadriplegic. I actually consider myself a cross between both quad and para. I don't have the use of my legs, so I am wheelchair bound with an electric wheelchair. Spastic CP, it's a neurological condition that affects um, my nervous system due to the fact of a lack of oxygen to the brain. And it affected my childhood in the sense of I had difficulty getting into schools. I've had umpteen dozen surgeries, 66 and counting at this point, just to maintain the limited mobility that I do have. Um, but I keep trying. Every day I wake up and my body is completely stiff. It's very hard to move. I have difficulties getting dressed, difficulties transferring. I need care at least 8 to 10 hours a day. They don't have to be with me all the time. They can be split shifts, but at least 8 to 10 hours of care a day. I've always been an advocate for disabled rights, so it's just made it even more stronger. I think my first taste of advocacy was actually when I had to fight to go to school. And I haven't stopped since because I don't want the up and coming generation of people with disabilities or people even now that are struggling to have to suffer the same way I did and down the same path that I had to go down. I want to make it easier for them to achieve their goals and their dreams. So that means going into schools and talking to students and also talking to teachers about what it's like to live with a disability and not to not to isolate. When it came to teachers, I was trying to explain to them how not to isolate the students that are having some challenges, and just making students and teachers more aware of, you know, the possibilities and not the discouragement of having a disabled person in their classroom. It's part of the whole um, advocacy thing, and it's part of what society needs to see. There's so many systemic issues going on in this world right now, particularly for people with disabilities, that certain groups just need a little bit of a wake up call. Because disability, yes, mine was from birth, but disability can happen to anyone at any time. And I find that even though my disability is very hard to deal with at times, um, it's even harder for someone who's never who's gone from being able-bodied to disabled. Throughout my life, I had 12 suicide attempts, eating disorders, and other things going on. Considering I've survived everything I've survived and had as many surgeries as I have, it's still a shock to me that people think that highly of me, but I'm starting to realize it more and more every day. Don't give up. Keep trying. You might, and if you're not able to go through the front door, you might have to kick down the back door. Um, there are ways to do it, and even if it's a very small change, it does impact everyone around you. If I get really frustrated, I just hit a punching bag and feel much better. You know, it's just being able to feel like you can accomplish anything and everything that you put your mind to. It may not look the same way that It may look to someone else, but at least you're doing it. I'm looking forward to sharing my story further and starting a new journey in my life, because with this award, the the painful part of my journey is now over. And now I can focus on bigger and better and more exciting things. Our disabilities don't define us. It's what we do with them that define us.